Yo, welcome to the Long and Short. Your boy Maestro here with your daily crypto TA and market analysis. We did miss a video yesterday, so I apologize about that. We're back Saturday morning to give you some insight, okay? On this channel, we give opinions on crypto news and events, give in-depth technical analysis and tutorials on how to trade the crypto market. No matter if you're a scalper, long-term hodler, doesn't matter, we have some strategy for you. Please like if you're in the crypto fight, subscribe if you're with the vibe, share if you care, and hit that bell if you need direct mail, and that is a notification if you know what I'm saying. Before we get into the money, I do have a question for the community. If I were to change the name to Filthy Lucre, would that offend anyone? Would that be a bad thing? You guys think? Do you like the name Long and Short? Please let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, dislike button. Doesn't matter. I'm really trying to take a good poll on what people think the name should be. Personally, I liked Filthy Lucre from the beginning, but I thought it may be offensive to some people. But that's why we went with the Long and Short. So you could definitely switch this up. I've been thinking about switching it up, and let me know what you think. All right. First thing we need to talk about today is the FOMC meetings, okay? The schedule for 22. The first one is on March 15th to 16th. The second one, June 14th to 15th. The third is September 20th to 21st. December 13th to 14th. Now, this is when they're going to make their announcements, okay? But it doesn't mean that they can't plan and plot things in between here, right? So there's also meetings on May 3rd and 4th, July 26th and 27th, and November 1st and 2nd. What I really think we need to be paying attention to are the factors of the market that cause inflation. If those factors are continuing to cause more inflation, then we can almost guarantee that Jerome Powell will raise those rates on the 15th and the 16th, okay? So if you're looking at economic factors, look at inflation. That's one really big thing that's going to make him push the button or not. If inflation seems to be lowering for whatever reason, then he may not push the button and the market may be able to run. People have taken advantage of really good buy opportunities in some of these lower zones, and price is trying to push itself out of it. Next week is going to be very interesting to see on the charts. All right, let's take a look at the sentiment, futures, and then we'll dive into the charts. Sentiment right now still sitting at 24. Yesterday it was 24. I think people are getting a bit more optimistic. They know that the end is coming. All right, it's like they can see the really dark alleyway and they know that something dangerous is at the end of it, but they're still going to go down that alleyway. Risk versus reward, baby. This is why you got to love trading. Extreme fear still, but people are traveling down that alleyway to see if they can get some gains before Jerome Powell drops the ball, possibly. Okay, let's take a look at futures really quickly. The 13 EMA is continuing to push price down. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens when price does touch this 13 EMA. Time and price matter, guys. So if we're near the FOMC announcement in March, okay, and price is creeping up to this 13 EMA and they come out and raise the rate, it's going to show the same characteristics that it showed here. I'm anticipating that price may try to break above this 13 EMA if we start to rally in February. It's going to be very interesting to see if that can happen. Looking at the open interest, it's pretty much fallen off a cliff, as we've been saying for the past few days. Something very interesting happening on the commitment of traders. Your large speculators are starting to swing up more to the zero line, okay, and your commercials have pushed off of the zero line. This is fairly bullish. So this is why it also adds a bit more weight to some things being bullish in February rather than bearish. All right, I think people had enough of the bearish activity. As we said a couple of weeks ago, the bears are starting to exhaust themselves. So this is really a good time for price to rally. Historically, reasons on charts, right? I mean, there's a lot of different reasons for price to sort of turn bullish at this point going into February. Now, by March, might be a different story. So we have to see how all of this plays out. But this is what I'm leaning towards, more bullish, okay? Also, another reason why I'm leaning more bullish is the small speculators are starting to think more bearish, okay? They've been thinking bearish, trying to creep down lower and lower to this zero line over the past few weeks. So when we go on a rally, okay, I'm pretty sure that they're going to turn around as well. But I want to see how hard the large speculators are going to be pushing from these levels going into March and going into the summer after that, because summer has been traditionally some pretty tough months for cryptocurrency. Looking at the elder rate, the bull power is still under the zero line. We want to see it push above the zero line, and we want to see the bear power relinquish and go above the zero line as well. Once we see that, we typically see really nice rallies in price, and you can see the correlations here. Okay, once that does happen, this is when you usually get your bigger rallies in price. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. Also, money flow coming in pretty aggressively now. Okay, so money's starting to flow back into the market. Good thing. We want to continue to watch this. If this continues to peak up and push up, These are the type of things that we want to see. It's inkling up right now. As you can see, when money kind of comes into this market aggressively, it shows you, okay? And that's when you're going to sort of prime everything right before you go on these runs. This is what we're looking for as well in the money flow. Also, accumulation distribution. We have been more in a phase of distribution, but doesn't really tell itself on the charts. So when we break into these charts, we like to take an approach in really 2 or 3 different ways. What I look at is the macro perspective, of course, right? So we're looking at the total market cap, Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance. Then we also take a micro perspective. We get in really close with Bitcoin scalping, swing trading, that type of thing, right? Short-term trades. We set up a chart for that. And then we have sort of a long-term hodler perspective for a number of different cryptos, which is why we have everything broken out sort of in colors here. Organization on your charts is very important. The more time that you spend drawing up where areas are on charts, the better you're going to become as a trader. So what have we done here? Well, this is the total crypto market cap. And really all I'm concerned about is whether or not the market is strong or weak. In my opinion, based on these ranges and what price tells me, the market is in a weak position when we're anywhere below $1.8 trillion in the total market cap. Historically speaking, that's been the case. Now, this push up here in this rejection that happened back in May, going into the summer last year, this was the downtrend. Now, the market hadn't really established this zone yet because it was still pushing up. So this is sort of in hindsight. You had to get to this area before you really understood that these levels existed. And this is what we also say. The crypto market is so young, it's going to prove a lot of people wrong who make projections on it. We still have to let this market grow and mature before we really have any real historical data to go off of. But we use what we can. So as the data presents itself, we can use it to try to benefit ourselves to see if reoccurring events are going to happen in price. One thing we do want to point out here is right at 1.8 trillion, right before that crash in the summer, right? When price crossed into this zone, it stayed there. Look at this really big candle here. Let's zoom in here a bit because I want you guys to see this. Really big candle pushing into the zone right at 1.876, and then it tried to fight its way out a couple of times and it couldn't do it. Okay, so a very similar thing happened here. When price broke down past 1.8, you also had a very aggressive move into that zone. So will price be able to break out of it? It doesn't seem like it really wants to fight. If we take a look at these daily candles, yes, we are going on a bit of a rally, but these rallies can fool you as well. You're still getting a lot of pressure from the top side here. Look at these wicks. Look at these wicks. Price may start to try to work itself back down, and that may keep us in the range. Okay, so this is the total market cap. This is the total encompassed market. So other cryptos are probably moving pretty aggressively right now, which we are going to take a look at, okay? But right now, we think the market is fairly weak. It needs to push itself back into a stronger position to build that market cap back up before the FOMC, I believe. And that's what's probably going to take place during February. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. All right, we also track Bitcoin dominance right now. That is trading at around 42.5%. Bitcoin's been swinging in this range for the most part for the entire year. It kind of lost a lot of dominance early in 2021, and then it's sort of swung within the 50 to 40% range. Right now, trading at 42.49% dominance. Now, here's the thing that we want to watch. If we do go into a bear market, Bitcoin typically holds its value in that bear market, even though the price is dropping, compared to altcoins in a much better way. These are the things that we want to watch. This dominance may actually pick up in the bear market because a lot of these lower cap cryptos are just going to be getting crushed. And where's the best place to put it if you want to keep it in crypto? Probably Bitcoin, Ethereum, more of the higher caps. Okay, so you may see this rise a bit if we do go into a bear market. Same thing with ETH. Right now, they are currently sitting at around 20%. Right around 18.25%. Every time they push above 20, they kind of get knocked back down. So we want to see ETH, if it were to start to really try to overtake the market cap for Bitcoin, it needs to push above 20 and stay above 20. It's on the right angle, the right trajectory. Let's see if it can actually take that place. Okay, now let's dive into our scalping chart. And you can see this chart looks a lot different than really anything else. And the reason why is because we're playing this on a very short-term perspective, okay? Now we're still taking a look at the daily. Let's go ahead and get into the hour chart so that we can see how things really look. Okay, jumping down to the hour chart, we can see price in a much better perspective here. There is liquidity sitting at these equal highs, okay, from this point here, which is right around 38.9. There's liquidity sitting above these levels. Will price push up and try to set another equal high? If it does, then that sort of confirms a range for us to the top side. Where will it go to the bottom is what we need to see, okay? So you have some equal lows here. and a low here. Where would the range be established is what I'm really looking for. Will price go on a V-shaped recovery and just blast through these zones up past 40, 50K? I don't think that that's in the cards for the moment, but nothing's impossible in crypto. Okay, you can see 10, 20, 30% gains in no time. So this is what we're going to be watching for. But right now, I would say that if you're thinking scalping or shorting, you want to look for some of this exhaustion over the weekend on the upwards movement. It really depends on how far this runs over the weekend. People are buying today. The crypto market stays open on the weekends. Things will continue to trade. People will continue to buy. And this is why you're seeing the price movement like this. Okay, so some pretty aggressive moves, pretty good pushes over the past couple of hours starting off the morning. But we're starting to near some of this liquidity and these highs at the top here. Okay, so all of the folks buying up, they may get met with some rejection once we start to reach into like the 38.5 levels. Okay, once you start to reach these highs. So this is what we're looking for. We're starting to think short. Anytime that price is overextended, we could start to think short back down to the bottom of the range, and that could be a pretty nice play because as you can see, we are in a pretty large range here from around 38.3 down to 33. All right, so we need to be aware of where we are in the range. I think price is still trying to establish it, and once it does, we'll be able to scalp and swing all within that range pretty effectively. Okay, as you guys can see, we do this already. And we're going to be able to show you how to take advantage of it. Okay, only got caught one time on the negative end of it, but these are pretty short in and out plays. Okay, nothing really high leveraged. We're just taking chances, taking shots. Okay, and the shots are working out for us, playing by our rules within this range. Okay, so we'll continue to trade there. Once the range is established, I do want to see what's going to happen going into next week and how the market's going to react. All right, let's take a look at a bunch of long-term perspective HODLs and tell you whether or not prices are in discount or premium zones. Okay, taking a look at the snapshot here, mostly everything that has been in the bargain discount zone remains there. That is AAVE, that is Doge, that is Filecoin, that is the Graph, and that is Theta and VET as well. All right, so VeChain. All of these are still in your bargain discounted zones, maybe trying to climb their way out of them. We do see some movement here in price and in these zones. So we did have ETH jump out of the discount zone into a low premium zone. Okay, so now ETH, still a good buy to me, I would assume, in these areas, but it may get pushed back down to that discounted zone as well, so be careful there. All right, but for the most part, you have ADA, Algorand, AVAX, Bitcoin, Curve DAO, Polkadot, Engine Token, and we'll skip over ETH. You have Link, Mana, Harmony One, Sandbox, Solana, and XRP that are all still trading at pretty good discounts today. Okay, and in regards to cryptos that are trading at a premium, you still have Atom, BNB, Phantom. Luna is playing the line. We're going to show you that in a second. They're in between discount and premium. They're sort of just sitting right there. And then you also have MATIC and Secret Token. All right, so that's the snapshot in regards to cryptos that are trading at a discount versus those that are in a pretty good premium zone, and things may actually creep up a bit higher depending on what happens in February. Okay, taking a look at Bitcoin in regards to long-term opportunities, you are trading in a discount. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, we'd like to draw out a couple of different scenarios here, okay? Price could actually continue to push up higher into next week, okay? And then by the end of next week, sort of swing its way back into this zone, and maybe just trade here, okay? Now, this to us is the ideal scenario. And the reason why is because if price were to do that, it keeps us in a range. We can scalp that all day, and it doesn't really push us too far one way or the other, bringing traders in and getting set up and trapped, okay? Now, what could also happen is that price just sort of launches itself from here, right? Maybe you can see a bit of a retracement, but continue to push up, knocking out that second imbalance, and maybe even the third here. But by then, you're already at the FOMC, okay? Now, the FOMC, if the news is negative, you may see the fall from there, okay? So you might get a little push going into the news like we did last time, and then boom, you'll see that, all right? Now, those are the two things that I think positive bullish-wise could happen. Now, the negative news, and which would be a much more catastrophic type of thing, is if we get rejected after we fill this imbalance, okay? Pushing down off of this line, okay? Forming back within this range, but then by the FOMC, we start to see lower prices, okay? This is another thing that could happen, okay? Another scenario. If this scenario were to happen, then you can expect price to really start to test this 30K. And if there's enough pressure, it could snap that band. If it does, then we're going to 24, 25K. At that point, I think the market will start to capitulate a bit. Anywhere below 24, 25K for Bitcoin, then you're going to go into that capitulation mode, right? Where you're going to see a lot more downwards action than what you've seen here in the past. So that's what we're looking for Bitcoin, okay? Two different scenarios, bullish aggressive, bullish not so aggressive. We can swing in the range, or we can push up, come right back down, and then see lower prices by the FOMC, which means we will be in pretty big trouble, okay? So these are the things that we're looking for, all right? Now, if you're unaware of how we break these charts out, of course, we have areas of high premium, low premium, which is where we're not really buying, then areas of discount where we're interested in buying, as well as areas of bargain. And as you guys can see, right, if you use this to your advantage, you will get in at the proper places. These areas under discount, these areas here that are first clearing out the discount are your areas of, 38, 40,000 down, guys. We think that Bitcoin's a good buy here, okay? And if it gets squeezed within this range, then we're playing ball either way, right? We can scalp that, we can trade it, we can collect Bitcoin in this process of price just swinging within these ranges. We don't have to play this game like an investor. We can play like a trader and stack Bitcoin as this movement happens, all right? Let's take a look at ETH. When it comes to Ethereum, pretty much the same exact scenario, right? You have imbalances to the top, equal highs to the top, imbalances to the top, and you have room for price to get supported at the bottom. So pretty much the same scenario. You could get a push up or an aggressive push up and then a launch back down by the FOMC, okay? But these are the things that we're watching. I think ETH will trade more aggressively than Bitcoin, okay? There's a lot more people that are adding on to those ETH wallets just like they're adding on to the Bitcoin wallets. And right now, ETH is at a price that I think is manageable for the regular person to get into. Like if you really wanted one Ethereum, you can save up the money to get one Ethereum at this point. And that's the thing that I think people are taking advantage of. They are buying here. You do have support here, okay? You can go back and look, okay, to the previous price action here. If we zoom this in just a bit, you can see you do have support here at these levels. Okay, nothing's closing below this line here of 24.01. Now, if price were to close and go deeper into a discounted zone, it's a perfect buying opportunity for ETH, and I think people will continue to load up on those wallets. Right now, it's starting to creep into a low premium zone. I'm not sure how long it's going to stay here, but let's see. BNB, again, sort of finding the same type of support that Ethereum is also finding, okay? So if we zoom in here a bit, nothing's closing below that discount line at 358. These things do prove themselves out on the charts, guys. You just have to draw them out, and they're going to start to show you things, all right? Been trading within this premium zone for quite some time. You jumped into a high premium zone. You came back down. So if price were to dump into this discount zone for BNB, which is being supported by, I think it's not necessarily a buy right away. I do want to see the price sort of reverse from this area and then go back up just like it did here, okay? These are the opportune buying areas. These are the opportune buying areas for BNB. I think it will continue to grow. These are some of the lowest prices that you're probably going to get it at if in fact, prices will sort of maintain themselves here. We could see a crash. If we do, then you will be able to pick it up in discount and bargain zones. So be on the lookout for that. XRP also trading at a discount. You do have some support here, so if XRP were to drop below 57 cents, I think it is a good buy, okay? Again, none of what we're preaching here is financial advice. We want people to be aware of that. This is just where we're lining up the market and where we're seeing the opportunities, and we're just educating you on how to do the same thing that we're doing in the market. But this is by no means financial advice. But in my opinion, if XRP were to fall below 57 cents, it is a pretty damn good buy. You can see every time it pushes below this level, it rejects it, okay? It moves up higher. So if it were to crack down here and we're not in some serious bearish territory, okay, it looks like a good buy for XRP. You do want to be a bit careful because the SEC seems to have it out for cryptos. They seem to want to go ahead and attack whoever they want to in the crypto space, and XRP, they just have their hooks in right now. Okay, Cardano trading in a discounted zone as well. We are looking for Cardano to bounce here, but you have been getting a lot of topside pressure. I think Cardano is a pretty excellent buy trading at these levels. You do seem to find your support here where price is actually trading. And if we kind of zoom in a bit, you can see a lot of big strong wicks from the bottom there. But Cardano seems to be dying a bit down in regards to movement. So let's see what happens. I think, there's a lot of people still buying Cardano. There's a lot of people still selling Cardano, okay? It seems that they're meeting right here to actually play. So if we break below these levels into bargain zones, Cardano would be below 81 cents. I think it's an excellent buy if it were to get that low, because it probably won't see that area again unless we go into a bear market. If we do, then definitely Cardano will be under 81 cents. Okay, for Solana, also trading in a discounted zone. Okay, Solana's also trying to push its way back up. There are some imbalances to the top here that I can see that price may want to go get, but this is the lower of the levels that we also need to watch, right around 67 bucks for Solana. Okay, so we're watching to see if this level will continue to be supported as it was in this area here. If not, then price will break down into a bargain zone. There are some imbalances here that price could probably try to go get, as well as above it. So we'll see. I think Solana may also continue to trade into a range in this discounted zone, which would be a good accumulation zone for Solana. AVAX also in a discounted zone, but is starting to try to break its way into a low premium zone. And if it does, then that would be a pretty good thing for AVAX, right? We said that we like the price action here. It goes from discount to premium and touches discount, goes back to premium, right? Now we're trading inside of it. And that's okay, guys, right? That's okay. This is the opportunities that we look for. But when we go into the fear and greed index, what does it say? Extremely fearful. This is where people don't buy, right? But the discount areas are the best places to buy. The bargain areas are the best places to buy, just based on historical price action, okay? So when we see this nice type of price action with AVAX that we have here, and they're giving you opportunities to get in, don't be so shy, right? You see that you have levels of support here, okay? Here, okay? And if you get in here, it's not necessarily the worst move because price has shown you that it will support itself here. I think AVAX is going to continue to push up into a low premium zone. If it does, it may crack back down to a discount zone by the FOMC, but we need to wait and see what's going to happen. Remember, we're watching the inflation. When it comes to Atom, all right, also trading in a low premium zone, you see, once it reaches these discounted zones, it does bounce out of them pretty aggressively, okay? It did it here, it did it here. So we're looking for Atom to come back down into our discount zone. We're kind of hoping that happens. If it doesn't happen, so be it. But these are the opportunities that we're looking for. If this were to break an all-time high and just keep going up, okay, then we would need to readjust our zones and readjust our values for where discount, bargain, low premium, and high premium are. But that has yet to be seen. I think if the FOMC comes out and is negative, you may get an opportunity to buy Cosmos somewhere under 23 bucks. All right, so that would be a good deal. When it comes to Polkadot, also trading in a discounted zone, as you can see, price has pushed out of these zones aggressively before. So trading near the lower end of the discounted zone with not very much to support it until you get to maybe what, 10 bucks. That is a bit of a concern for Polkadot. But the rally itself today hasn't been as aggressive as the previous rallies that we've seen in the market, but it has made some upwards movement. You know, when you start to look at these charts, some things are going to push harder than others, and I'm not really sure what Polkadot's going to do. There really is no really established levels of support here. Now, you can say that this low, right, this low right here is sort of what's supporting price, but it's a very small area of liquidity, and it seems that they're building it up here. Now, if you do have support here, that's a good thing. Price may drop through that for a bit, touch the bargain zone, and then go back up, and that's ideal for us, okay? Otherwise, you can just kind of get this upwards movement, and if it were to come back down, I'm thinking you will see these bargain zones under $15.15 for Polkadot. Taking a look at MATIC, you do have price trading in the low premium zone. It did bounce pretty aggressively out of this discount zone. It just visited just for a second and said bye-bye, okay? And we can see that you do have support here at these levels. Levels of support here, levels of support here, okay? So once the price bounces into these areas and takes off, that's a positive sign. So if MATIC were to come anywhere back into this discount and we're not in like super bearish territory, I'm getting some more. Okay, that's the way it's going to go. Also, you do have additional levels, to sort of layered support here, right? So another one here, another one here, one there. So if MATIC were to go into these discounted zones, I don't think it's going to stay here very long at all. And these are the things that we're watching. Very nice price action for MATIC, and going to be interesting to see what happens. But we know the zones that we are looking to get in at. Anywhere under $1.50 is a pretty good buy for MATIC. Okay, taking a look at Luna. Now, Luna was the one that we spoke of earlier on how it broke out of the low premium zone, tried to break its way back in, but it's sort of just playing on the line here, as you guys can see, okay? So until Luna makes a decision on which way it wants to go, we're not really going to position it one way or the other, okay? I want to see it trade and close within one of these areas. It closed in the discount zone last night, and so that's why we marked it there. All right, now still at a pretty good price, I would imagine for Luna. But if it were to drop lower, okay, there are areas that could possibly catch it, and these are the areas where you actually really want to get in, not in these upper areas that may go one way or the other. If Luna were to drop to maybe 37, 38 bucks, that's your opportune area. Also, you do have it at a low here. That price pretty much honored right there. So maybe $47 is as low as it wants to go. But remember, FOMC could change everything. This could definitely push deeper into a discounted zone and range itself out even deeper into a bargain zone if we go into a bear market. All right, so be aware, you are seeing bearish bias. Okay, you do have a bearish bias here on this price chart, as well as every other crypto price chart. So upwards movements, guys, for us to really break the downwards trend, there's going to have to be a lot of buying coming in. Okay, we're not going to be able to sit on the sidelines and watch this one. It's almost like everybody's got to participate to turn this market around, because the bears, I think, still have a bit more power to bring when it comes to this market. Data is trading in a bargain zone. We won't talk very much about it. We've said that data has negative price action that we don't like to see. So this may actually come off of our list. Not sure if we're going to continue to cover it until I see a really big aggressive break of market structure to the top side. We're not going to be looking at data, even though it is in a bargain zone. I mean, really, to be honest with you guys, it is starting to be supported here. And so if these areas of around $3, you know, sort of sustain themselves and price doesn't break down to a lower area of about $1.45, then data is still somewhat worth looking at. But again, I'm worried about this historical price action and this angle down that price just cannot seem to break above when it comes to, you know, trying to set a new equal high or higher high. And that's what we're looking at. Let's take a look at Harmony 1. Harmony 1 has the price action that we like to see. Break from a bargain zone into a premium zone, back to a bargain zone, into a premium zone. This is what we like to see. Okay, so right now, Harmony's at a discount, but it's looking to really trace its way back to that low premium zone. Okay, so these areas are pretty much the opportune areas to get in. Looking to the left here, you do have support at these lows. To the top side, you have some pretty big imbalances to fill. Okay, so I think Harmony will also pump. It will be one of those that pump more aggressively than other cryptos if we were to go on a run in February. So setting yourself up here and kind of scaling in is not a bad idea. Secret token also trading in a low premium zone. I would want to see this drop a bit. If it does drop into a discount zone, price is giving me good indications that it's being supported here. Very big wicks in this area. Okay. Also below here, you have pretty good level of support. You see how price just kind of sat on top of this line here. Okay, traded below it, jump right above it aggressively. This is all positive for me when I'm seeing this on a price chart. Ultimately, I think if you were to come back into the discount zone, anything under $5.52, $5.50 is a pretty good grab when it comes to Secret. Taking a look at Phantom, we're also trading in a low premium zone here. Okay, you do have some support in these areas here. If price were to jump below this, you know, discount zone line, it's not going to stay here very long. You could see sort of a swing up like this if it were to happen. You do have imbalances to the bottom side. So do I think price will come back to this discounted zone for Phantom? Probably so. Probably so. Okay. It may not happen before the FOMC, but you're definitely going to be able to buy Phantom under $1.83 sometime in the future. This is what I'm seeing. You have a high placed here. Okay. Couldn't create a higher high. This is when you start to get your more depressed movements. Unless price were to really jump and push through here, which I think will be less of a probability of that happening than you going back into this discount zone, right? It's almost here already, and it did try to visit it before. So if price were to drop to this level, good buying opportunity, good area to scale in at for it to push back up to a low premium, because I don't think Phantom's really going anywhere. But right now, not necessarily looking to get into it. VeChain also some pretty negative price action trading in the bargain arena. Okay, so VeChain does have a bit of support that it broke through over here. Okay, this is sort of the last level of support that price needs to fight from. So if price does push up from here, goes into a discount zone, this is promising to see for VeChain. Again, FOMC is going to determine a couple of things, and VeChain may actually be on the chopping block as something that the Biden administration may be going after with their regulations, because if in fact they say, you know, we can't trade foreign cryptos, that means we no longer have access to VeChain. This isn't anything that's going to happen tomorrow, but you do need to be aware of what's happening here. But right now, you can get it at some pretty good prices at a bargain at about 5 cents for VeChain. Okay, we'll cut through the rest of these pretty quickly. Algorand trading at a discounted price, being supported here by levels that have been a sort of a super solid wall of support, sitting right at around 82 cents, which is one of our standard deviations within this model. Okay, so in a discounted zone. I think Algorand is definitely something that's going to be around in the future. Okay, may get hit with this Fed rate hike. I think that some of the DeFi tokens are probably going to get hit the hardest. So we'll see if we can pick it up in a bargain zone. Typically, when it does trade here, though, it doesn't stay here for very long. We can see that this price action has been supported. Taking a look at Filecoin trying to break its way out of this bargain zone. We were really worried about Filecoin, right? It's just been in a depressed mode, and this is the price action that we don't like to see. There are some competitors in the space now, so will Filecoin grow? Let's see. I think that they have to continue to try to integrate and build up. But otherwise, they're at a bargain zone. Not necessarily interested in buying it right now. We are sort of at the depths of it. I want to see it break market structure, right? Show me something. Show me you still have life. I need price to do that. Just because I like something doesn't mean that I'm going to get into it, guys. All right? I need price to show me as well. So until price really turns around and shows me that it wants to go on a bullish run, I'm not really going to think about Filecoin as well either. But you make your own decisions. This is what we're seeing on the chart. When it comes to Dogecoin, very similar price action, right? Really aggressive push, back down into a discount zone, and it couldn't really break back into that premium zone. Tons of different restaurants have come out and said, hey, Elon, just mention our restaurant and we'll take Doge, right? Will this price continue to rise? I think it probably will, but you're starting to see the effects of inflation, okay? There's just more and more Doge coming into the market, and that's pushing the price down, guys. And that's what we need to be aware of. Now, if Doge were to get to, say, 10 cents, 7 cents, I don't think that that's the end of the world. That's actually really good buying opportunities for Doge, because I don't think it'll go sub 5 cents into a penny, okay? It's traded at these ranges for quite some time before, all right? So if we do get there, it's going to be tough for the Doge community, but I think that you can rebound from these areas, but you're going to need a lot more influx. All of these Inu coins have killed this market. Dogecoin was the first Shiba coin, the first coin that had a Shiba Inu on it. They just took that theme, completely transformed it and transfixed it into a number of other different things. That is what is affecting the Dogecoin market. If there weren't any Inu coins, Doge would be trading in a low premium area, I believe, okay? Maybe at 50 cents or better. But a lot of that market cap has been sucked out of Doge, okay? And it's a shame that it happened, but that's the way this market goes, baby. Free market. When it comes down to Engine token, also trading at a discount, I think this is probably one of the strongest tokens out there, guys, when it comes to things that are going to happen in the future. Metaverse, okay? So Engine, Mana, Sandbox, these are the ones that we really want to take a look at, because the metaverse is going to be something that's explosive. Now, whether or not they survive and build and sort of control the metaverse is a different story, right? I think there's a lot of corporate entities that are getting into it, but these are cryptos that I think will help facilitate some of that activity. So for Engine, you are seeing some bounces here from these supported levels right at around $1.26. It doesn't want to break into this bargain zone, but if it does, this is something I definitely want to pick up. We're already scaling back into Engine token, so this is something that I think will continue to grow. We are watching it though, okay? FOMC really determines a lot of stuff for us, but we are taking advantage of any up movements that we can get in these prices while they are here. As you can see, the entire market is green today. All right, looking at Mana also trading in a discounted zone. I am a bit concerned that it'll probably visit these bargain zones at lower prices, maybe around $1. If in fact we do get some bad news, FOMC, these altcoins will probably be the ones that get hit the hardest, okay, as opposed to the larger cap coins. You do want to pay attention to what's going to happen here, more towards the bottom side for Mana, but I think Mana at anywhere under $1.50 is a pretty good buy to pick some up, okay? Okay, when it comes to Sandbox, you are also trading in a discounted zone, trying to push up very aggressively out of it, and you can see Sandbox does have some pretty nice movement coming out of this zone, knocking out this imbalance here to the top side. I want to see if you're going to get rejected here at 443, and you do have quite a bit of support here at around 223. Okay, so Sandbox pushing up very aggressively. I think this is one also that has a pretty good future. And right now, since it's in a discounted zone, not a bad idea to scale in. Looking at Chainlink, it's also being supported by historical levels, right? So $14.56. These areas here have acted as previous support before, and you're seeing that support kicking in now. Okay, so we do want to be aware of Chainlink and whether or not it can break into a bargain zone. If it does, I don't think it's going to stay there for very long. As you guys can see, every time price just spikes this level, it comes right back up. Spikes the level, comes right back up. So we can anticipate that that will continue into the future. AAVE is now trading in the bargain zone, and sort of, I think this is in anticipation of the Fed, right? The DeFi dApps are going to get hit the hardest, and I think people are really seeing that, and they're sort of scaling off of those positions, okay? This is where the majority of your risk is going to come in at with these DeFi apps if they do raise the rates. Here's the thing. I say you're probably going to find some support right there, right at that level. You're at 137, maybe a little higher. That's where you're going to be finding your support. Okay, and if we're looking at the graph, it's at a bargain price. Do I think it could fall lower? Definitely. You do have lows here sitting under the price at around 22 cents. And this is where your launch pad sort of took off from. So if price were to fall to these levels of maybe what, under 10 cents, that's a perfect area for you to get some graph, right? You spend $1 on it, you got 10. So think about that, folks, right? When you're at these lower levels, you're going to be able to pick up on things that you may not have picked up on. And you're probably at the bottom of the bottom. And if it were to fall, you're not necessarily losing much, right? If you lose $10, it's not that bad. But if you're going all in on positions, guys, that's not the best thing to do when prices reaching these levels and you're seeing this negative price action all the way down, right? So not a large bet, very small scale then bet that could yield some pretty good returns for you if in fact it does turn around. All right, last but not least, we'll talk about Curve DAO, also trading in the discounted zone, okay? But again, we like the price action for Curve DAO. It jumps out of these zones pretty aggressively, right? So boom, out of the discount into the premium, right? Touches the discount, back to the premium, touches the discount, back to the premium. So right now it's getting held up in this discounted zone, but you do have quite a bit of support here to the left, okay? Support at 249, let's say 250. You see candle just wicks right off of that, okay? Now, again, FOMC is going to determine what happens with this also, I believe, but if you were to trade into a bargain zone anywhere under $2, to me, that's a really good place to scale in some Curve DAO. Everyone should be aware that prices could continue to fall from these levels of discount and bargain. Nothing's impossible, but these areas are the areas that are being supported the most when it comes to your discounts and your bargains, okay? And these are the areas where people sell when it comes to high premium and low premium. So what we want to do is continue to track this over time to show people the power of this, because right now I'm not sure that most people see it. It's a very simple process that no one covers, and you can simply draw this out on your chart. And if you're a long-term hodler, this is the best way to go, folks. You're not watching the price action every day trying to judge whether it's low or whether it's high or where I should get in, where I should get out. Very simple process, okay? So we'll continue to track this every day. Once again, it's your boy Maestro. Salute. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining. We're out of here. Peace.